Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. 2017 has been a great one for boxing, especially with the heavyweight division. Joshua Klitschko, they kicked things off with an instant classic. They may do a rematch. I'm not super big on a rematch. I'd understand it from a business perspective, and just out of respect, Klitschko offered his name and gave Joshua the opportunity to prove himself against a known elite fighter, a good fighter who was dominant for about 10 years almost. I don't have to see it because the first one we had a definitive winner. You know what I mean? There was a knockout. Klitschko wasn't a champion. He had already lost his other fight before that. His last fight before the Joshua fight, Tyson Fury, had a long layoff. He's 41. And like I said, we had a conclusive winner. But from a business perspective, I'd understand it. The first one did 90,000 seats. The first one was an instant classic, as I mentioned, so they may do it. Out of respect to Klitschko, even though he wasn't a champion when they fought. Just to, you know what I mean, that's a lot of money to pass up, especially for a Kubrat Pulev. Now, I did a video the other day. Eddie Hearn, MATCHROOM, Anthony Joshua, Team Joshua, whatever you want to call it, they put in a request with the IBF to have a Klitschko rematch instead of facing their IBF #1 mandatory, which is Kubrat Pulev. So we're waiting the outcome from the IBF. They have to rule and go through whatever procedure to determine. Now, link in the description. I seen an interview, or actually heard it was an audio interview, but there's a YouTube video, link in the description. And it was Eddie Hearn. He was talking about Joshua's next 3 fights. They said, hey, if you could ideally make the fights that you want with no politics, what would you do? And the list was, he said Klitschko, Deontay Wilder, and then Tyson Fury. And he kind of expanded the most on Tyson Fury, saying, I'm glad to see him back training. He has some weight to lose. That would be a huge fight. One of the hosts of the radio show he was on that was conducting the interview, they said something to the effect of, that would be the biggest fight since Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis. Eddie Hearn said, I think Joshua Klitschko might have been that big too. It was a huge fight for boxing, huge fight for the heavyweight division. And Eddie Hearn sounded the most interested in that, in the Tyson Fury, because he knows domestically it'll make a lot of money. And Tyson Fury is not 41, he's a bit younger, so if he gets back in shape, that sounds like a logical fight that could happen. Plus, Joshua called him out post-fight. Now, my thoughts, it sounds good on paper, sounds good in the interview, but I gotta see it, because that's a tough schedule for one. 2, you have Luis King Kong Ortiz, who he just keeps getting overlooked, and he was just signed with MATCHROOM. Now he's with Al Heyman, and he's threatening to sue and really motion to have Joshua stripped if he doesn't defend his WBA belt. I think that's where he's ranked #1. So we got to see what happens with that. Plus, the IBF has not yet approved the Klitschko rematch. You know what I mean? But it's politics, so maybe they will. Maybe they see how big of a fight that could be, and they'll honor the rematch. But they went through the proper channels, so it might get approved, it might get declined. It's really up to the IBF and their rules. So Joshua may have to fight Kubrat Pulev, who is the #1 mandatory with the IBF. And then furthermore, like I said, seeing is believing. That's a tough schedule. And aside from mandatories who are breathing down your neck and seem like they really want that. I mean, I haven't really heard much from Kubrat Pulev, but I haven't heard anything saying he doesn't want the shot. I've definitely heard from Luis Ortiz, and that's a great fight. So aside from that, I don't think personally that Eddie Hearn wants the Deontay Wilder right now. I think it's kind of like De La Hoya with the Canelo Golovkin situation. They want to let it marinate, get their fighter as much experience as he can, because like it or not, people always say windmill Wilder and he's throwing sloppy punches and helicopter punch, all that, but people do not want to fight him, right? Luis King Kong Ortiz, people don't want to fight him either, but there's a different circumstance, because Luis Ortiz, although he's a great crafty fighter, he's very skilled, he does not bring the money that a person like Wilder would to the table. So I'm not saying it's right, but I understand when people avoid Luis Ortiz, they almost have a built-in excuse, because even though he's number one, he really is not going to generate the type of money. He doesn't speak English for promotional reasons, like if they were going to do the gloves are off, so they have to get a translator, stuff like that. The reason it doesn't make sense for all these people not to fight Wilder is because he speaks English, he has an American demographic, he's a WBC champion, and he's been a champion longer than any of the current heavyweight champions, right? Tyson Fury he had to relinquish his belts. Joshua just became a champion after that when he fought Charles Martin. Charles Martin already had the belt and then lost it to Joshua. Joseph Parker just fought for a vacant belt in December. So Wilder has been the one with the most title defenses, I would say, and he's been the longest heavyweight champion that's out there right now. Because, like I said, people like Tyson Fury got stripped, Klitschko lost, Joseph Parker just fought in December and became a champion, December 10th, if I'm not mistaken. So it makes less sense for these guys not to fight Wilder, because he would be a money fight in the heavyweight division. He's calling out these guys, Joseph Parker and then Anthony Joshua, and we're not really hearing stuff. So I like what Eddie Hearn is saying, but I got to see it. I got to see Klitschko, Wilder, and then Tyson Fury. And honestly, if Joshua, this is my perspective, if Joshua fights Wilder, there might not be a Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? Because he might lose to Deontay Wilder. There's a possibility. I know some people aren't going to agree and whatever, but let's see the fight then. If you don't think Wilder has any shot, even with his power, he has no hope, let's see the fight. Everybody petition for that particular fight, and we'll see if he has a shot. But like I said, it sounds good on paper. That would be a hell of a lineup. Joshua, I don't think he's afraid to fight people. Like, I mean, he's showing you, he just fought Klitschko, and it's been full steam ahead ever since Charles Martin. You know what I mean? His career kind of reminds me of Canelo in the sense of he was being critiqued. Canelo was being critiqued pre-Austin Trout. They were saying, oh, he hasn't fought no one. He fought washed up guys. He fought guys that challenged for a title maybe, but came up short. He fought contenders, journeymen, stuff like that. But ever since Canelo fought Austin Trout, it's been full steam ahead. He's fought Austin Trout, Floyd Mayweather, Angulo, Edislandi Lara, you know what I mean? Some Amir Khans, Liam Smiths in there, James Kirkland. Then he fought Cotto in there. Now he's fighting Golovkin. So you can't really criticize his, you could say 2016 wasn't a good year for Canelo, but you can't criticize his whole resume because, like I said, since Trout, he's been fighting top-notch people by and large. And that's what it is with Joshua. Before the Charles Martin fight, his resume wasn't great. But then after, it's been full steam ahead. He's fought guys like Dominic Breazeale, undefeated, who's still ranked in a lot of the sanctioning bodies. He fought Dillian White, who's still a threat. You know what I mean? He's a good fighter at heavyweight. Klitschko, of course. You know what I'm saying? So Joshua has been ramping it up. But like I said, I still got to see it. I like Eddie Hearn saying it. It sounds good. But I want to see Wilder especially. Again, I don't have to see the Klitschko rematch just because we got a definitive winner. But I would understand it. Tyson Fury's a cool fight, but they saying his UCAD hearing might get suspended or postponed till the end of the year. He still looks big. So I'm more worried about Joshua Wilder than any of the other fights because that's a ready-made fight. Wilder's in shape. I've seen some recent pictures of him. He's already in shape. Tyson Fury isn't, and he doesn't even have a boxing license. But that's another, you guys have to learn to read between the lines. Eddie Hearn did this interview and he mentioned Wilder, but he also spent the least amount of time talking about Wilder and Joshua. And he spent the most amount of time probably talking about the Tyson Fury fight. And then in previous interviews, he spent a good amount of time talking about fighting Klitschko and possibly postponing the Kubrat Pulev fight. You know what I mean? So I haven't really seen a distinction from Team Joshua like, hey, okay, we'll accept Deontay Wilder's challenge. We want you next. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen anybody come at him like that. And again, if you guys think it's easy work for Joshua, then we should all be petitioning and pushing for that fight. Everybody make videos, write to your favorite websites, and push for that fight. You know what I mean? But like I said, it sounds good on paper. Let me know what you guys think. Joshua schedule, if it in fact is what Eddie Hearn says, that's a toughie. Klitschko, Wilder, and Tyson Fury, and he would be pound for pound status if he beat all those. Beat Klitschko again, showed it wasn't a fluke, then beat Deontay Wilder and nabbed his WBC belt, and then fought Tyson Fury and like knocked him out. I mean, he's clearly pound for pound at that point. So we'll see what happens next. Link in the description. Drop your thoughts. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.